Xinjiang, Tibet, Yunnan, and Inner Mongolia. These are the 4 autonomous regions of China. Let's start with Tibet. Throughout most of its history, from the Tang Dynasty to the Tibetan Empire in the 8th century, Tibet had been relatively independent politically. But in 1721, the Qing Dynasty of China, who were natively Manchurian, recently conquered Tibet. Now, this was of some sort of contention because both the Manchurian court in Beijing and the Jungar court in Mongolia and the Eastern Steppe were kind of vying for the Dalai Lama's support and power as a sort of legitimization to the multiple wars that they were fighting against each other. Now, at the end of the day, Kangxi had won, and the Qing dynasty established firmer control over Tibet, while still giving it some of its own autonomy throughout history. Now, this was up until 1912, and in 1912, the Qing dynasty fell. And there's this period from 1912 to 1950 where Tibet was semi-de facto independent. Now, at this point, the Kuomintang, or the leading party that had ruled China after the Qing dynasty fell, had some control over Tibet, but they were mostly preoccupied with fighting the PRC that was first in Manchuria, after Mao's long march from the south up to the north, and then from Manchuria, and eventually they lost. The Kuomintang lost the war, and the PRC won. And in 1950, Mao Zedong officially annexed Tibet, formally ending its de facto independence. Now, today, in modern PRC under Xi Jinping, it has some independence, but China is increasing and ever more increasing their control over the Tibetan territories, mainly bringing more Han immigrants into the Tibetan territories to almost Sinify it. So that is generally what's been happening in Tibet over the past 300 or so years since it has been within the Chinese grasp of power.